Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Today we're in the museum, which is why?
Uh,
Who?
okay, it's been a couple weeks since we last did videos. We did a session of Sonic Adventure in between this, too. So, for a moment, I forgot this guy had legs. I thought he was just sort of a floating
A
oval
floating
thing.
Muppet.
Yeah, a floating Muppet, yeah. He could have had Arlo's hand up his butt, and I wouldn't have been surprised.
Why does?
But Arlo's
Arlo has his
already a
hand
puppet.
up Barnacle Boy's
Yeah, I was gonna
butt?
say Arlo's already a puppet. So a puppet has his puppet hand up another puppet's ass.
Muppetception.
I think that's the no. That is Muppet intercourse.
Excuse me, but
Did someone say something about a fisting?
okay. So I was going to make a comment about defiling the pure Muppets, but to be fair, Miss Piggy is horny like 90% of the time. So I
Okay,
can't.
the only Muppet things that I can even remember with any clarity anymore are the Muppet Christmas Carol and the Muppet Bohemian Rhapsody. So, make of that what you will.
I love the Muppet Bohemian Rhapsody video. That's great.
I have not seen the Christmas movie in years.
It's
worth
a
a rewatch.
classic. Although I've not seen the other one, and there's a breed of Muppet purists who are like, "Oh, you like the Muppet Christmas Carol? Oh, how plebeian are your Muppet tastes? The other Muppet Christmas special is truly the superior Muppet Christmas variety."
It's not like
So
you can enjoy two movies in your life. You know?
I know. I'm mostly joking because I haven't
I know.
seen it. So it might very well actually be better, and we've just been okay. All right, man.
The thing about Muppet Christmas Carol though is that I don't like it because it's a Muppet movie. I like it because it's a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's
You know?
it's one of the better versions of the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, adaptations of that tend to get a bit grim at times. So I like the.
There's also way
relatively-
too damn many of them, and everyone needs to stop at some point.
Yeah, that too.
you say that though, but I still love Scrooged with Bill Murray.
I haven't seen that one, but one of
That's my. I mean, it's not the definitive Christmas Carol adaptation, but it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
so one of
Well,
my
It's dark. It's dark though. Like it's dark comedy.
yeah, but one of my
So,
favorite jokes in a Muppet Christmas Carol is they have Gonzo and I forget the rat's name. Oh man. But they have them being the narrators, and then when they get to the point where it goes to Christmas Future, they're like, "Oh man, this is the serious part of the show. We'll be back for the finale, everybody," and then they just leave. Yeah.
Just as someone who read the book though, I really like Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, you
I
see,
mean-
I don't think I could ever read the book because I can't stand Dickens' writing.
A Christmas Carol is different than Dickens' normal writing, kind of in the same way that The Hobbit is different from Tolkien's normal writing. It's like it's more obvious he's writing for children, so it's not as ponderous.
Okay,
You know?
because that's the big thing about.
Oh yeah, I've
Dickens
read
is you
Great
can tell-
Expectations. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
You
Yeah,
can
good old
tell
Charles
that he was
Dickens-
paid by the word.
The
so.
word, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's also a very short book, so.
One of my favorite things about this specific section, though, is that different clips from the show and pieces of concept art for the game are used as the pictures in the museum. So, like, if you've watched the show, you probably recognize, like, Sandy's beefy arm and SpongeBob with the underwear and stuff like that. But there are a couple of pictures of, like, landscapes and things like that.
What you don't know is that Sandy's beefy arm was the first appearance of Terry Crews on TV.
That was
Wait,
gruesome.
whoa, hold on.
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I would have bought it.
That
if you
was
just looked at the story.
that was a SpongeBob SquarePants adaptation of the laser grid death from Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's straight out of a Saw movie when you think about it.
Or Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace on PS1.
Wait,
I know
what?
that's a
Oh
weird
Jesus
reach.
Christ!
That is
I,
a weird
I feel
pull.
less alone in the universe now. Someone else on this planet has played that
Yeah.
game.
I've played it, so I never
I
beat
used
it.
the level select because I've only rented that game for the weekend, and I even regret that. But I used the level select to jump ahead to the Duel of Fates part of the game, and you know those energy barriers that were just like set pieces in the movie.
Yeah.
You can touch those in the fight, and you don't just die, you fall apart like a fucking Lego set.
I played that entire game from front to back without a guide, and I regret everything.
And now look at you.
Well, at least there's one good Phantom Menace game with the pod racing one. You know, that's
Also the
something.
Legos.
Oh, is that the
Oh,
Mario Kart one?
You mean F-Zero?
Oh yeah, there's. The Lego game is good too, but it's also just another Lego game. So.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Lego game. It's a Lego game
Well,
with a Star
actually,
Wars skin.
to give credit to the Star Wars Lego games, they were the first in that style as far as I can remember. There were Lego
Yeah.
games before that, like Lego Island on PC, but the Lego Star Wars established the formula that all of the other Lego games would then follow, and it's been like 13 years, and they haven't changed too much since. So,
Yeah, if
As-
you played
as in
one
none
Lego
at all.
game, you've almost played them all.
yeah, your
It's-
favorite one is probably your favorite franchise that Lego has covered.
Yeah.
I have to call on the. I love the visual references for all the pictures, but one is Sandy with her pecan pie, or sorry, peas in a can pie, according to SpongeBob, and the other is just a close-up of that pie.
Oh, Jesus. This looks really annoying, considering those platforms are freaking huge.
I spent like legitimately 20 minutes trying to make these because they're not on a set pattern. They're patterns. At least they seem to be random, like so that they don't swing, so that they're set in such a way that eventually the jump will be easy. You just have to kind of wait.
The enemy behavior is independent to the platform.
Well, it's not the enemy
not-
that's bothering me. It's the
Did you just,
yeah.
like, download a compilation video?
Yeah, so I was planning on using the SpongeBob time cards as cutting material from the start, but so when I looked up SpongeBob time cards on YouTube, I downloaded the first one that came up, and it ended with, "Oh, can you hurry it up? I'm all out of time cards," which is one of my favorite jokes because the painting episode is one of my favorites in SpongeBob. SpongeBob,
Yeah.
we have technology.
If I told you it came off, you wouldn't be as careful then, well, would you?
Oh, Jesus. This looks
Yeah,
really...
here the enemy, because there's no way to really get to the enemy, because I think even if you do your bash move, then I don't think, you probably should be able to reach it, but not easily. Anyway, I think that's just so that, oh yeah, if you go over
You
here,
can get back.
you can quick travel through it as Sandy, so they at the very least don't make you backtrack through that, thank God, but I'm also not going for that sock in there, because life's too short. And the sliding music makes the ominous dark bottom. What?
Dark bottom.
I also think I unintentionally sequence
skipped.
broke there. Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh well, okay.
Whoop. Back
Never
you
mind.
go.
And okay, I also hit a checkpoint. Oops. All right. Sorry about that.
Nope, that was the way you're supposed to go.
Apparently so, because it won't let me backtrack. All right.
Hey, Gary. You're on an awful long walk, aren't you?
SpongeBob, you're a terrible pet owner. How did he even get down here?
Darkness, huh?
To be fair, Gary seems pretty sentient, so...
No, he's smarter than SpongeBob is. Like if you remember the Dream episode where he reads the really elaborate poem, and then SpongeBob's like, what? And then he reads the simple limerick, and he's like, oh, I get it.
So, what you're saying is, SpongeBob is John, and the snail is Garfield.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. Although Gary doesn't eat lasagna / make the show funnier when he's not in it. Oh yeah,
what?
I didn't die there because there's collision on that part of ground. Okay.
Speaking of comic strips, I really need to get back into Dilbert.
I need to get back into Garfield minus Garfield.
I'm not the biggest Garfield fan, to be honest. I
Me
mean,
neither, but I love Garfield minus Garfield.
I enjoy the occasional Garfield strip.
Lewis, have
but
you seen Garfield minus Garfield?
No.
Oh, it's great. They basically just
Yeah.
take normal Garfield strips and then remove Garfield entirely.
So
Yeah.
there'll
It makes John look like a deranged weirdo.
So there'll be like 2 completely blank strips, and then John will walk in and he's just like, "Look at this thing I just got," and then there's just no one there.
It really puts a new spin on the comics. I love them.
One of my favorite ones, though, is they took the Garfield cartoon, and I think it's either the Thanksgiving or the Christmas episode, and they take the cartoon and they edit Garfield out of it, and so the whole family just looks completely nuts. It's great.
Oh, man. That reminds me, there is a Dilbert cartoon, and I think it's free on Prime. I should probably watch that, although it's bizarre because they gave Dilbert a mouth.
Well, they have
Isn't
to
that like a
edit,
years old cartoon?
they have to edit. They have to animate him talking somehow.
Man,
I
they don't
suppose.
have to, okay? Spider-Man does it without a mouth all the time.
Yeah, but he's wearing a mask.
A mask.
And Dilbert has glasses.
You see, that's
What?
actually well, that's actually the one of the things about the Spider-Man in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, I should say, that I really liked is that they found a way to animate his eyes through the mask by having like the little.
Well, I think was it Deadpool who started doing that?
They did that in Deadpool as well, but one
Yeah,
of the
but
things.
I can't remember which came first, either Tom Holland Spider-Man or Deadpool.
I can't remember either, but one of the things about Spider-Man is that in the cartoons and the comics, he's so expressive because the eyes on the mask
Move with
basically act like normal eyes. Like, they'll become round when he's surprised, and they'll squint and things like that. And you can do that in animation because there's no rules. You can draw whatever the heck you want. But
Yeah.
in live action, for the Sam Raimi and the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man always felt less expressive because the eyes were just always the same because they were just
They
were just
part of
started
the mask.
they started CGI animating the eyes in the Deadpool and Spider-Man movies, and
Yeah.
I want to say Deadpool came first because
Deadpool
that
came
was
first.
early 2016. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I thought that they came up with a really cool way to do it, like, because they have like little mechanical shutters on them, so it kind of looks realistic, but it allows Spider-Man to be as expressive as he is in the games. Actually, I
Well,
won't say games, but I meant we're watching.
Well, the Shutter thing is in Spider-Man, this year's Spider-Man.
Okay, that's good.
yeah, I think it was in Ultimate Spider-Man as well. Although that one was more cartoony.
I should go out of my way to play Ultimate Spider-Man because
Damn good.
Yeah, because I feel like from what I remember, it's basically Spider-Man 2 but with better single-player content. From what I remember, and I'd like to give it a shot. Also, the art style looks fun, and from what I remember, it came out during the point in time where Ultimate Spider-Man was still a good comic series. Well, I should say we're between the point where Ultimate Spider-Man was a good comic series and the point where Miles Morales took over and it became another good comic series. Because there's a good point after wow, I'm getting my terminology mixed up like nothing else today. There's a good point after issue like 100 or so. So it had a really good run for a really long time, but eventually at some point the writing just becomes really, really bad and dumb, and they try to, in traditional comic book fashion, they try to tie it into an event, and that event also ended up being garbage, so they basically just brought themselves into a corner, and it stopped being fun. And I hate comic books. Basically is the point of the story.
So I'm getting Power Girl flashbacks.
Yeah,
a whole year where the series was amazing, and then I switched creative teams and it was okay, but they were also like 90% tying in with the Max Lord story.
Yeah, comics need to stop having an event every 12 months so that they can just have their teams make a good run,
Mm-hmm.
And that's Marvel has been especially bad with that because I can't remember a year where they didn't have an event going on. Like
They're also the last number of years, unfortunately, being very much dictated by the movies.
That's a little
which is a Disney problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, at the very least, the years before that, they were trying really hard to be different from the movies because they changed everybody, and so they have to change back because comic books.
Do you think that hand comes out and grabs Simon Belmont every time he falls into a pit?
You know what? I would say yes, but since it's Castlevania, then the hand has to be super, super beefy. And the hand struts like Simon does. But
Yeah,
since
so
it's
it's like
off
Terry
screen, we
Crews.
don't see
How would a
it
hand
happens.
strut? Wait, I was about to ask how would a hand strut, but then I remembered the Addams Family. That's another thing that I need to get back into.
Thing.
I didn't mean to do that, but I'll pretend I did.
You see, we were just talking about comic books where there's a different thing. So, you know. Yeah.
Was there ever an Addams Family Fantastic Four crossover?
Dude, comic
Everyone's
books have been
crossover with
around for
everyone.
so long, I would not be surprised.
Well,
If,
I'm
let's
pretty
actually,
sure there was a
we have
Scooby-Doo Addams Family crossover.
We have access to the internet. Hold on. We can... Fantastic Four, Addams Family. Let's just...
I'm crossing my fingers here.
Okay. No. All right. I'm not seeing anything on the first page of Google, so it's probably...
Then there's still time.
Dude, if you have to go to the second page of Google, that's basically the equivalent of doing hardcore research. Okay? If it doesn't exist on Wikipedia, it might as well just be not real.
You must
So-
truly be desperate to come to me for help.
I'm pretty
Google
sure
page
that
2.
I'm pretty sure there was at least a Scooby-Doo crossover with Addams Family because Scooby-Doo crossed
Probably.
over with fucking everything.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Batman
but
and
they,
Robin, Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, exactly.
Harlem
So
Globetrotters.
Scooby-Doo crossed over with the Addams Family, and Scooby-Doo then crossed over with Batman, meaning that Addams Family and Batman are in the same universe. And as we all know, Batman then later crossed over with the Marvel continuity. So Addams
Also,
Family
Teenage Mutant
and
Ninja Turtles.
yeah, so Addams Family and Marvel technically do take place in the same continuity, as we all know.
Somehow.
There's probably a Double Dragon crossover somewhere in the mix, so Image Comics gets involved, and then it just
ew.
gets weird.
Ew.
Did I say Double Dragon? I meant Savage Dragon.
Double Dragon. Yeah, the bullies just come up and punch Shaggy in the gut and carry him off.